since there's the Antichrist, then there's a New World religion which is going to worship him. So that is the basic assumption behind New Age Bible versions. And New Age Bible versions is expanding on the idea that Gail Riplinger, when she compared modern versions and the King James Bible together, she saw a lot of differences that were very concerning to her, and she thought had a lot of New Age bent to them. So this is the book that she wrote as a result of that, New Age Bible versions. If you want to get yourself a copy, there is a link for it down in the description. And yeah, we're going to keep going. So I don't know if you guys already have opinions on this. I would love to know if the people who are currently watching think that the Lord's Prayer, as it's found in modern versions, is that the changes that are made in it were made to make the Lord's Prayer compatible with a New World religion. Because most scholars, including the people who are kind of scholars, like, popular King James Bible critics and stuff like that, they would be abhorred to think that the good old, nice old translators who are making modern versions are, in fact, are consciously aware that they're part of a conspiracy. That is a straw man, because I don't know of anybody besides possibly myself who would say that even apparently conservative Christians who are involved in modern Bible translating are aware, because one of the major things of occult stuff is infiltration of the church. That's the wolves coming in among the sheep. They see themselves as the wolves. They're coming in as the sheep, dressed as sheep. So that is a legitimate concern. And there have been a lot of pastors, a lot of priests, a lot of deacons and stuff like this that have been outed for child abuse. And that is a direct tie-in with Satanism. So the two are not only very closely related, not all people who obviously who say that they are worshipers of Satan or whatever are going to be abusing children. Obviously not all of them. And not all the people that are abusing children are Satanists. Not all of them. But your legit Satanists who believe there actually is a devil for them to worship and for them to please are going to please and worship him by abusing children, etc. So my suspicion is that when we see these different people falling because of these different things is, number one, because they were set up, they were framed, they were lied about, stuff like this. And also that they're taking the brunt and the exposure for people behind them that are actually much worse, that will never be exposed. And that's scary. And also some of them are probably legit really bad people that do get caught, which is great when things like that happen and they get exposed. Okay. So of course they're very shocked that anybody would say that these things are done on purpose. I would say that it is possible that they were done on purpose. I'm not saying that they were. I'm not going to point fingers because I know. However, when it comes to, well, yeah, I don't want to get on too much of a rabbit trail. I'm going to try to make this one short, guys. I'm going to try to make this one short. You guys can let me know what you think of this introduction. I don't know, it just seems like the whole thing a lot of the time is just baby steps. 2 to 3 viewers. Almost midnight. Just, I don't know. And it's hard to have a lot of energy when you've already used your entire allotted energy since 6 in the morning. I don't know. Anyways, hopefully with a dynamic microphone, we can take some time out in the afternoon on weekends or something like this. And I would love to read New Age Bible versions just to read it, because I don't know if there's anybody out there who would volunteer. If anybody who's watching this knows of anybody or would like to volunteer to read New Age Bible versions, that would be awesome. But then I would feel bad trying to make any money off of it. The way that we're offering it now is people can donate if they want to, or they can download it for free. That is the basic idea. If somebody did volunteer to read it, then I think what would probably be the best option is to provide a link along with the audio. The person would not be paid to read New Age Bible versions. They could obviously back out. They don't have really an obligation to finish it because they're volunteering. And what we would do is provide a link to their PayPal or their, a way that they can receive donations from people as well. If somebody wanted to show the person that's reading this a little love, somebody that has a better voice than I do, somebody that reads better than I do, things like that. Hopefully, somebody will step forward for that, but it's a huge commitment. It is a huge book. And obviously, with the new update from 2022, that not all of that can go on YouTube. So we will see about it. All right. Welcome to the Bible version conspiracy, where we expose the conspiracy behind the modern Bible version debate and call modern biblical scholarship to fairly consider what they have heretofore branded as wild-eyed conspiracy theory. Check out the links in the we provided in the description. That's down there of this video as they relate to and expand upon the thoughts in tonight's stream. You can also support us financially and shop our new merchandise, links in the description. If you hit subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of future videos, don't forget that the best way, the 2 best free ways that you can support what we do here is with your prayers and your video with those that you feel would be interested. And again, if the audio is going awry, please leave a comment in the live chat and let me know. The audio is critical when it comes to these live streams. All right. There's also a have you considered having AI read it for you? Yes. That's what I'm trying to do right now, Chase, unfortunately. It takes me, with everything else that I'm doing, 2 or 3 months to make one chapter. The chapter that I have right now probably took about 2 or 3 months. I don't remember when my last one was posted, but there's a link down in the description for this as well, just so you guys know. If you want, you can check that out. There is a link in the description where you can freely, or you can name a fair price if you guys want to give money to help us do what we're doing here, help us, survive and things like this. Like I've said before, I'd love to do this full time, but we're not doing that anytime soon. This is a labor of love, and it's going to be that way for a long time. The audio chapter 3 for New Age Bible versions, the chapter Your Father the Devil, is available down in the description. Links down there. You can click on that. It'll give you an option to either name a fair price, or you can just hit 0, type 0 into the field, and you will pay nothing. You can download it for free. You can listen to it. Let me know how it sounds. If it's got problems, I can fix them. And there's also a free PDF that comes along with it of the chapter. This is all with Gail Riplinger's permission. And you can read along in the chapter. It's the 2018 edition. So if you see any problems in the reading of it, you can just let me know and we can fix them. Let me see now. Yes, 3 months ago. New Age Bible Versions Chapter 2, and as of now, it has 413 views, which is less than the Bigfoot video that I posted 1 month ago by about 40 or 50. Anyways, tidbit. I know that a lot of non-Bible believing Christians are watching that one too, so that's not necessarily a fair comparison, but people are a little bit more interested in Bigfoot than they are New Age Bible versions. Surprise. So the introduction is done, and now it's up to New Age Bible Versions Chapter 3. Let me see real quick. If I can dig up anything on... Okay. So the manuscript digest, I guess you could say, from... don't tell me. Jack Moorman is right here. Luke 11:2b. And Luke 11:2a. Our Father which art in heaven. Which art in heaven is supported by uncials. A, C, D, E, F, G, H, K, M, P, S, U, V, W, X, Gamma, Delta, Theta, Lambda, Pi, Psi, cursives, majority, family 13, the Old Latin, A, B, A in parentheses, C, D, E, C is also in parentheses. So these are all different manuscripts, all these different things. The F's or FAMs, those represent families of manuscripts that are believed to come from the same texts. These ones are getting more into cursives. The uncials would be apparently a little bit more old, but then many of the cursives are copied by scribes from older texts, and they're being carried down because they're considered to be more accurate. Syriac, Peshitta, Kur, Hair. So I think it's 3 different types of Syriac. Coptic, SA and BO. The Eth, which I forget what that designation is, also extant in Y, X, little I, Omega, 047, which I believe these are also cursive. So these are your more recent manuscripts, I believe, are what the numbers are, if I remember correctly. 047, 055, 022, quiet. 0211 and 0233 with a question mark because of reasons. When you pray, say Father, which does not say Our Father which art in heaven. That is supported by Papyrus 75, Aleph, B, and L. PC Family 1, AUR, I forget what that is, G1 and 2 with a question mark, the Vulgate, Sin, and Armenian? I'm not positive. So that's the manuscript evidence for which art in heaven. I think Gail gets into that a little bit more in depth later on. Luke 11:2b, Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so in earth. That is supported by Aleph with an asterisk, so there's a qualification there, possibly in a colophon or a note or something, who knows. Aleph C, which, by the way, Aleph would be your Sinaiticus. So Sinaiticus, possibly one of the correctors, brought it back in. A, C, D, E, F, G, H, K, M, P, S, U, V, W, X, Gamma, Delta, Theta, Lambda, Pi, Psi, cursives, the majority, family 13, Old Latin, A, U, R, B, C, E, F, FF2, I, L, Q, R1, or is that RL? I'm not sure. Syriac, Peshitta, and Harnack, I think is what that is, HARC. Coptic, BO, so apparently the Coptic SA checks out on that one. Extant in Y, XI, that might be Psi, I'm not sure if they pronounce that as a word. Omega 047, which is the same in the other one. 055, which is the same for the other half of the verse. 0211, same as the other one, and 0233 with a question mark. The shorter reading of the New International Version is supported by the same manuscript, except it's a little bit different. So it's still P75, B, and L. Aleph is over there. PC is the same. Family 1 is the same. Vulgate, Sin, Cur, and Arm. So anyways, for the manuscript nerds out there, that may have been interesting. I don't know. I'm surprised that we have more viewers than we had before we started that. That's encouraging. This is not a paid advertisement for Adirondack pomegranate water. Okay. What I would like to do is I would like to start with a few shorter books, practicing, getting a feel for the whole audiobook making thing. Because with the paragraph, when I'm copying from a PDF, it makes every line a new paragraph. So I have to go back through all of them, make them all the right thing. Oh boy, you guys have no idea the work that it takes. It can take like an hour to get one page done or more. It just depending on interruptions and just typo here, typo there. Or the AI doesn't recognize this word, so I have to respell it so it can pronounce it. And the charts have to all be completely arranged, because when they copy in, they come in backwards and forwards and all over the place. So I have to reconstruct the every chart, and New Age Bible Versions has a lot of charts. So AI is not the awesome option. The one that I'm using right now, Revoicer, is not bad, but it's still not human. It can't do what a person can do as far as comprehending what's on the page. So I am seriously considering just reading it here. I know that there's people out there that just take a live stream to read a book to people because people don't have time to read the book. They don't have the ability, the stick-to-itiveness, whatever, to be able to make it through such books. So somebody will just read them so that people can listen to them while they're working, while they're exercising, while they're studying, whatever. Probably not while they're studying so much. Probably not a great idea to listen to audiobooks while you're studying. Probably more some kind of brain music. But anyhow, because I know that the AI stuff is probably yielding a superior product, but it's been over a year and I'm on chapter 3. And trying to do everything else while trying to make an audiobook of New Age Bible Versions is awful. So I think that if I took a week, or not a week, if I took, a night a week, 2 nights a week, something like that, to go through New Age Bible Versions, read the whole thing, have some comments mixed in there, stuff like that, that may be doable and maybe marketable. We'll have to see. I would need to probably get a better streaming service. Maybe once I get StreamYard, it will help with that. I am not sure how that all works, but I know that this Steppy YouTube, Steppy is the word for it. It's kind of nonsense, and it doesn't really, it leaves a lot lacking. So I don't know. Please be praying for us. Like I said, the 2 best ways you can support us is with your prayers and your shares. Please. We need it. I'm still trying to figure out a zillion things with how to do this. It's just like, it's a headache. Labor of love, like I said. Anywho, chapter 3, Your Father the Devil. And I would be reading this on the laptop if I could, but I don't think that I can. I'll be reading from the 2022 update. Okay, so she said, I believe it was in her interview on Action 60s. That's what I want to say it was from. She was asked what the most shocking thing was that she found in her research. And she said then that the most shocking thing that she learned was what's in this chapter. That would have been a great way to start this live stream. What is the one thing that Gail Riplinger said was the most shocking discovery that she included, that she made when she was researching for New Age Bible Versions? We're getting into that tonight. Perhaps the most shocking discovery of my research was the admission by the New Age movement and esoteric community that there is, in fact, an occult version of the Our Father, and that it has found its way into Luke 11:2 in the new versions. King James Bible says this, Our Father which art in heaven, and I always get this mixed up. If I was to say it from memory, let's try. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. I think it's debts and debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Let's see how I did. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so in earth. I memorized this out of an NIV. I think. I'm not sure what my mom would have used at that point, but I certainly didn't memorize it from the King James when I was younger, and that's been a handicap. That's the same reason why when I quote Genesis 1:1, I say, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, because that's how the modern versions have it. King James Bible says heaven. This is, thy will be done, as in heaven, so in earth. Give us day by day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, as we also forgive everyone that is indebted to us. I screwed that up. This is the Luke one. So this one is the one that doesn't have, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. And forgive us our sins, for we also forgive everyone that is indebted to us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. That's Luke 11, 2 through 4. Let me go to my Bible real quick. There's also, just to kind of put it out there, there's also things that our family could really use that we put on a wish list on our Buy Me a Coffee page, which I think is buymeacoffee.com/Joseph Armstrong. So those things are just like, whoa, priced, but it's like they're things that we think are very needful for us. I'm thinking about featuring one of those a week just so people are aware of these products, not necessarily so that you guys can donate buku amounts of money and we can get them in, next weekend or something like this. Not for that at all. It would be a good idea to bring these things to your guys' attention so that you guys could take advantage of them too. Things like, what is it? The EMF fix. Type that in after the live stream. You got to pay attention for now, but write that down if you can. It's a website called, and it's as one word, so THE, EMF fix. That's electromagnetic field fix.com. If you go there, there's some pretty interesting research about how 5G is affecting us, how it is affecting our children, our DNA, bird populations, the grass, the cows, everything is being affected by 5G. These plates, which are treated with lasers, nanotechnology, these plates, when these EMF rays bounce off of them, are able to reverse and regulate these waves. It doesn't interfere with your 5G connection and everything, but it converts it into something that's actually has a positive effect, not a negative one. So, and people have been reporting phenomenal results. So that's one of the things that is in our one of our things on our wish list. I think it's like the top one. It's like something like $7,000 for the one that would cover our whole house. It's like $200 for one that we could wear around our neck. One of these little plates that, and I have a few friends that have one of these. They have a farm. They wear them. They've been like, we've noticed an enormous difference. So it's like. So that's one of the things that is in there. So, an example of something that you guys could be like, oh, wow, and this could benefit you. It can benefit your community just to have one of these things. They're a lot of money, but they're stainless steel. They basically just sit there. There's no electronics. And it's just like, you can have that for forever. Did I just... Okay, my mouth froze open. That was attractive. I'm married. I don't have to be attractive. Let's see. So anyways, that's a good example. Those things could even practically, they could almost be thrown out and still be beneficial. Let's see. So modern versions, NIV, ESV, HCSB, NASB, not New King James. So basically most of the things that are in this book, if they don't specifically say New King James does blah, 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 then it's not actually applicable to the New King James. So, Father, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, give us each day our daily bread, forgive us our sins, for we also forgive everyone who sins against us, and lead us not into temptation. So that leaves out our Father, which art in heaven. So just has Father out of that whole thing. Thy will be done as in heaven, so in earth. So this prayer could be applied to somebody which art not in heaven, and is also not our Father, and is also not going to deliver us from evil. Just saying, it could be used that way. Typically, when I've heard of the Lord's Prayer being used in occultism or whatever, two things come to mind. First one is when people will try to conjure Satan or whatever, and they will do it by reading the Lord's Prayer backwards or something. Who did that? It might have been John D. I don't remember who it was that did that. Anyway, somebody did that and concluded that there is no Satan after doing that because he didn't show up. That's a good way to test to make sure that there's no Satan, is read the Lord's Prayer backwards and cross your fingers. And the other thing that comes to mind is my experience at Ace Hardware. One time, went to a brewery, not to get a drink, but because I was the one that dealt with the big green egg sales. So, big green egg story. Went to the brewery, setting up an extra large big green egg, not a double XL. That's the biggest one, the step down from that. The XL is much more popular than the double XL. One of the things because I've been taking my supplements until recently, or punishment really because yeah, okay, we'll see, dear. We'll see. Anyways. So as I'm putting together this big green egg, it ended up not working out for them. It actually ended up being out of round, I think, was the determination. So later on, it was given away. But as I'm putting it together, the one that they ended up with was perfectly functional. But there was something about the other one that when you put the springs on it, it pulled it a certain way, so it kind of the top just kind of popped off, and it was like that. But anyways, Big Green Egg, great brand. We have one out here. We've had it for years. It's awesome. So not dissing their brand anyways. So when I'm putting this together, there's a guy working with the brewery stuff in this back room. And the song that's playing is talking, it's like really, really satanic sounding. And like talking about like, you know, these things crawling out of their holes at night and just not normal stuff, you know, just like creepy dark stuff. And they include and I'm not sure how they changed. I think they changed the Lord's Prayer in certain ways, but I'm pretty sure that the way that they had it would have been like probably the Anton LaVey kind of way, because you would think of him saying something like, thy will be done on earth as it is in hell. So it's praying that prayer to Satan in this song. So, not saying that if you find yourself, hearing a coven meeting or whatever, that they're going to pray this prayer this way from the modern versions. It is the more Catholic rendition of it. I included an article down in the description by Will Kinney that talks about how the Pope wanted to change the Lord's Prayer and such, and how he didn't like how it was in the King James or something like this. So that would be a good one for you guys to check out. It's also called the Paternoster, which is Latin for Our Father. Alice Bailey instructs the movement's inner core as follows. The general public will regard it as a prayer to God transcendent. They will not recognize him yet as immanent in his creation. So, Our Father which art in heaven, can't have that, because that shows him as being transcendent. He transcends his creation. So he would basically be God, which is in everything or in everyone or whatever kind of new agey garbage could be fixed up. So the modern Lord's Prayer is consistent with that occult belief, that new age teaching. Mark Ward, James White, people like this, they want to call Gail Riplinger a wild-eyed conspiracy theorist. As far as I'm aware, neither of those people, none of Gail Riplinger's critics, outside of people like Dave Hunt and David Cloud, which are not really heavy-hitting critics or loud critics. Gail talks a little bit about their criticisms in Blind Guides. So White, Ward, people like that are going to say that she's a wild-eyed conspiracy theorist, but as far as I'm aware, neither of them have really done anything to contribute to the fight against the New Age or occultism or anything, so they wouldn't know the Antichrist if he walked up to them and beheaded them. I'm pretty sure that James White doesn't even believe that there is going to be an Antichrist. If my information is correct, then he's more of an amillennialist, something like that. If I'm wrong, correct me on that. But as far as I'm aware, he does not have the same eschatology as most Bible-believing Christians. His would be more of a reformed position, I believe, which is not scriptural. There is an occult version. This is Eliphas Levi's Dogma and Ritual of High Magic, distinguishes between the original Our Father and the shortened version used by esoterics and new versions. Quote, there is an added ellipsis. Thank you, Chase. There is an, I wonder where Spray Arm is. What's his problem? There is an, quote, occult version of the Paternoster. This is Eliphas Levi, famous occultist. There were originally two ways of doing it. One reserved for the initiate, the other for the profane. Now, I would love to see that entire quote, not the truncated version that we are given by Gail here. But I'm sure that it was fair ellipsis marks, which makes sense. So let me read it with ellipsis marks, just to make it so you guys kind of see them. I hate when authors use ellipsis marks. Hate it. Or ellipses, or ellipsis, or however you pronounce it. Bracket, there is an, and bracket, ellipsis marks. Occult version of the Paternoster, ellipsis marks. There were originally two ways of doing it, ellipsis marks. one reserved for the ellipsis marks, initiate, ellipsis marks, the other for the profane. That's reference 2. Let me see if I can give you guys that reference, which may help you guys. Eliphas Levi, Dogma and Ritual of High Magic, Volume 2, page 88. What I would do, and what I hope to do, is give, like, if I ever write a book about anything, that I would probably include like a QR code and possibly just the website address so that people could just type it in, so that they could go to a website for the book that would give a copy of the page or pages where a quote is taken from, if I have to chop it down like that, so that people could read it for themselves and see what I was justified in taking out, and figure out for themselves whether or not it was justified. Anyhow, the heading, the real Paternoster, again, that's Our Father, Latin, blazes across the pages of one of H.P. Blavatsky's books, as does Holy Satan. So, the real Paternoster. Someplace else in the book, apparently. Holy Satan. Wow. She confesses that the father of the New Age is, as she puts it, quote, Holy Father of Evil, sainted Satan, end quote. And of course, whatever edition of H.P. Blavatsky you're actually looking at, Isis Unveiled Volume 2. I think most of these are just book references. It doesn't look like there's really anything that expands and gives greater depth to ideas in that index. So we'll probably forget about going back to the index for different things. So, but anyways, if you guys want, you can download it for free, like I said, on the link that's in the description for Gumroad. That's where you can download the audio of this chapter, and you can download the free PDF. I hope to have a shortened version of the audio. It's about 36 minutes for the whole thing. I hope that I did all of it correctly. I hope to shorten that to interesting parts where people can be like, oh, I want to go download this. So, and get that all fixed up. New Age Confession, blah, blah, blah. With jaded joy, she boasts, and this is one of the most shocking things that she discovered in her research, according to her. With jaded joy, she boasts that this father's version has stepped into the new Bible versions. Cradled by her 2nd century mentor, Marcion the heretic, of course. Oh, what did they used to call him? Pretty sure they used to call him a child of the devil or something like this. Yeah, they really did not like Marcion, and Marcion, of course, is kind of his stuff is downplayed by Lost Books and whatever else with the History Channel. Then carried to the 20th century by Bible critic B.F. Westcott. Here's the quotation. There are no ellipsis marks in this quotation. None. So, quote, finally, we may add that modern Bible criticism, which unfortunately became active and serious toward the end of the last century, now generally admits that Marcion's text of the only gospel that he knew anything about, that of Luke, is far superior and far more correct than that of our present synoptics. So, in other words, modern textual criticism, the esteemed study, has determined that Marcion's Lord's Prayer based on Luke is the correct one, not the one that you see in Matthew. That's what H.P. Blavatsky, Lucifer Magazine, Atlantis, occultism, lots and lots and lots of interesting things. We find in supernatural religion the following startling sentence. This is still H.P. Blavatsky talking. Far superior and far more correct than that of our present synoptics. We find in supernatural religion the following startling sentence, quote, "We are therefore indebted to Marcion for the correct version even of the Lord's Prayer." End quote. This is Gail talking again here. New Age Bible interpretation outlines how Marcion's followers used the shortened Lord's Prayer. Quote, "Early Christians used this prayer in the following manner to attract the beneficent downpouring of the great celestial hierarchies." Early Christians, yeah. And like Ken Johnson explains, you got a lot of weird stuff going on in early Christianity, a lot of really weird things that people are calling themselves Christians. Well, there's a lot of weird people today that call themselves Christians too, bucko. Lots of weirdos that biblical Christians, people that they don't consider Christians, they are way off the deep end. Cults and Mormons and Catholics and JWs and just all kinds of crazy stuff, but they're still calling themselves Christians. So you got to be careful when you're like, oh, early Christianity did this, early Christianity did that. You got to be careful with a lot of things. I think that teaching by Ken Johnson might be on our Dead Sea Scrolls page. I'm not sure. Oh, did I mention? I probably didn't mention, and we'll probably be wrapping up soon. We have a website called cardcarryingchristians.com where I'm developing business cards for distribution, and we have them in two churches, our church and one in Missouri, Joey Faust's church, and that's where the business cards go as of now. But we're building this website a lot and trying to cover as many things as we can, try to expose as much truth as we can. And one of the things that we shed light on is the Dead Sea Scrolls. And it's some pretty interesting stuff. We have a live stream about it, and also there's the website. cardcarryingchristians.com/Dead Sea Scrolls. Marcion, or the Beast, as he was called by second-century Christians, describes the father of these great celestial hierarchies in his Philosophumena, the revelation of Marcion. Quote, "First, its father, the Kabbalistic Ein Sof, manifested itself in the form of the invisible One." She talks about the One later on in this book. Capital O. The Supreme Tetrad came down unto him in a female form, the Silence, the Father. She says Marcion and Blavatsky's father uses the title One and appears in a female form, a clue this book will pursue in chapters 5, 6, and 7. Interesting. And of course, there's ellipsis marks that pepper all their way through that quotation. First, its father, ellipsis, the Kabbalistic Ein Sof, ellipsis, manifest ed, brackets, itself in the form of the invisible one, the supreme tetrad, meaning four in brackets, came down unto him, ellipsis marks, in the form of female, ellipsis marks, the silence, the father. So yeah, like I've said, I hate it when there's just like, why, and people are just trying to keep their books short. I understand. I do understand why people use ellipsis marks, but they are crippling to your message. They are positively crippling because people can't know for sure looking at the page that they're reading. Is this a legit quotation, or are they just kind of going, Anyways, New Ager Blavatsky analyzes the flurry of words, this father, the female image of Marcion's theology. Quote, this is a plain and ancient esoteric secrecy. This is as plain as ancient esoteric secrecy could make it. That's reference 7. Marcion viewed Jesus neither as king or Messiah. He maintained the fallacious idea of an incarnate God. He taught that deity had to be viewed under the symbol of 4. Interesting. Very interesting, considering the book by Ken Johnson, The Gnostic Origins of Roman Catholicism, and how you have Mary almost as a member of the Trinity. Except for then it's the divine tetrad. And gave out more of the esoteric truth than any other Gnostic. This teaching of Marcion was that of the early Kabbalists and of ours, that is the New Ages. This Father alone is the God of spirit. To compare him with the subordinate and syneatic deity is an error. Did Jesus ever pronounce the name of Jehovah? Never. Marcion's, and we're going to just get to the end of the next page, and that is it. The deeper look on our and Father, and which art in heaven, and hallowed be thy name, and thy kingdom come, and thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, for we also forgive everyone that is indebted to us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. We will leave for you guys, because there is a link in the description, which I've already mentioned. You guys can go right down. There's the if you're on a desktop, it'll I think be in like a grayish box or something like this, and you can hit the word more at the end of the text, and it'll give you the entire description. Also on a phone, Android, there's a little bit of text, just I think about one line, and then it ends in more. You click more, it'll give you the entire description. There's a link in there to our Gumroad page. You can click on that. It'll take you to a spot where you can type in the numeral 0. And you can download the audio chapter that we've made, that we've worked hard and suffered and bled and sweated and cried over for months or whatever like this. And you guys can download that. You can listen to the chapter as you're merely, going about your business during your day, commuting, jogging, whatever. And you also have, along with that, included free PDF. that you guys can read it. You can follow along with it. You can print it out. You can mark it up. You can do whatever. It's right there for you. So don't hesitate. Go to the description. Download it. Listen to the entire chapter. I'm pretty sure it's the entire chapter. 36 minutes sounds like a little bit of a stretch to be covered, to cover this many pages. I'll tell you that. Because there are plenty of pages. But anyways, if you see that there's parts missing out of this audiobook, I have not listened to it myself personally. This was the scheduled live stream for this evening, and I tried to get the entire audio done and listened to by this evening. It didn't happen. Posted it. Hopefully it works out for you guys. Like I've said, any criticisms, any comments, anything at all that you guys think could be changed or improved, please let me know. I want to listen to the audience. I want to serve you guys. That's what this whole Bible version conspiracy mess is all about. It's about you guys. And I thank you guys for showing up, for listening to my 1 hour, 11 minute, and 11 second rant about these things. I appreciate it. You guys get all of the gold stars. All of them. Let's see. Marcion's mischief was recorded by his contemporaries, Christians such as Tertullian, Epiphanes, and Irenaeus. The latter said, quote, and there's no ellipsis marks here, "Wherefore also Marcion and his followers have betaken themselves to mutilating the scriptures." I think they may or may not be referring to the Old Testament at that point. I know that from the first century, the entire New Testament has actually been considered scripture. You guys can see more information about that at cardcarryingchristians.com/lostbooks for more on that. Let's see. Not acknowledging some books at all. This is mutilating scripture, not acknowledging some books at all, and curtailing the gospel according to Luke and the epistles of Paul. They assert that these alone are authentic, which they themselves have shortened. So they've shortened the epistles of Paul and Luke. So then, I can't think, because this is something that I think is going to have more development. This is my conspiracy theory. I have seen the future, you know. Modern Bible versions are not finished. They're not done getting rid of things. If Marcion had shortened the epistles of Paul, I'm pretty sure that Paul's epistles have like 1 or 2 verses that are out of modern versions. So Marcion is not being completely followed when it comes to modern versions. Let's not assume that they are going, oh, look, Marcion did this or that, so we're going to do it too. It's not like that, apparently. They have to be able to justify it. They have to still be able to get Christians to buy their Bibles. There's a lot at stake here. But like the Jesuits said in our last video, the first generation will not be for us. The second will partially be ours, and the last completely. So it just takes 3 generations for them to. They are trying to steal your grandkids. They're not against you. You're just in the way of your grandkids. You are in the way. You are between them, the Jesuits, New World Order, Satanism, drug pushers, abusers, alcoholics. You are between them and your grandkids. Think about that. And think about it often. I do, and it makes me feel terrible for a lot of the things that I do. And don't dwell on it unhelpfully, obviously. Please don't do that. Think about it and act about it. More recently and of equal weight are the comments by Dean John Bergen. Internationally respected for his renowned scholarship, he writes of heretical deprivation and scandalously corrupt Greek texts used by the committee and new versions for their Lord's Prayer. Quote, this is what Dean John Bergen had to say. Let's see. Quote, Marcion's mutilated recension of St. Luke's Gospel, the Lord's Prayer, it's ellipsis marks, the Lord's Prayer, ellipsis marks, is exhibited by Aleph, A, B, C, D, ellipsis marks. They are never able to agree amongst themselves as to a single various reading. I think that's more of Aleph and B in general. So the Vatican manuscript and the Sinaitic manuscript, those are I think what he's talking about here. Of 32 out of 45 words, besides omitting 11 words, which B omits jointly with Aleph, Doctors Westcott and Hort erase from the Book of Life those other 11 words which are omitted by B only. And in this way, it comes to pass that the mutilated condition to which the scalpel of Marcion the heretic reduced the Lord's Prayer some 1730 years ago, for the mischief can all be traced back to him, is palmed off on the Church of England as the work of the Holy Ghost. Reference 12. That one I will give you. You can find the reference in Dean John William Bergen, The Revision Revised. The Bible for Today edition, pages 34 to 35. And that quotation was taken from those two pages as well. So yeah, I'm going to save the deeper look for you guys. You guys want to go into this deeper? You guys want to plumb the depths of the twisted conspiratorial mind that created New Age Bible versions? Go right ahead. You can do it for free in the description, like I already said. Let's see. I don't know if, let's see. I probably could hang out for a few more minutes. I do want to crop off a lot of the front of this, so it'll make it a little bit shorter. Are there any questions? I appreciate the 3 likes. If you guys enjoyed this video, please let us know. Hit the like button. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you know anybody, any groups that you're part of on Facebook or wherever else, subscribe and share the channel with them, share this live stream with them, share the video with them, whatever you guys are, whatever you guys do. However you usually share things, email, text, smoke signal, however you do it. I don't care how you share it. As long as you share it, it's okay by me. Even if you don't like this, video and you want to post it someplace where it can get a lot of nasty comments or something like that. No publicity is bad publicity. Sounds good to me. And I will do what I can. I personally, I'm not prepared to stand behind everything that Gail Riplinger says. I'm not prepared to stand behind 100%, 80%, 50% of what New Age Bible Version says. I have not looked up the references for myself. I have not done a lot of the research. I do know of some people and know some people that have, and they've been very impressed by it. I also know of plenty of people that have not been impressed by it and don't seem to have actually gone into it as thoroughly as the people who do like it. So I just kind of, go with that. I have read the book 3 times. I have found it very interesting, and I have learned different things each of the 3 times that I've read it. Notice different things as I'm going through. I will say that the reason why, one of the main reasons why I bring New Age Bible versions to you guys is so that if the critics and everybody are correct that New Age Bible versions is basically a pipe full of sewage. If that is true, it should be easy to show that. I looked at, years ago, James White's criticisms, different people's criticisms. I've read blind guides, read some responses to blind guides. I personally have not been satisfied by the criticisms that she has received. I have not been satisfied by any treatment of her arguments that I have read that has been critical of what she has said. There are some things that I read that I'm like, oh, yeah, that's probably a good point. Yeah, she probably could have done that differently. Yeah, that quote was probably given in a little bit of a misleading way. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have done that. But then I'm like, well, you're talking about this, look at this. Oh, forget about her. What about this other thing over here that's just like that's actually legit that you're not talking about? What about that? So, making an audiobook, making the PDFs available, all of this is with Gail's permission. Making this available, I think, is going to help us sharpen our swords or whatever, our Bibles, our Bible knowledge, and anything that can be polished off of New Age Bible versions that shouldn't be in there, that basically make things more how they should be, align them closer with truth. Good, positive, critical, constructive criticism, things like this is what we need. We don't need a lot of people coming around saying, oh, that lousy conspiracy theorist, didn't you read James White? Well, you should read James White because he's right. And no, I haven't read her book, but I don't have to because she's a stupid, wild-eyed conspiracy theorist. That's what we don't need. That is unhealthy, it's lazy, it's irresponsible. So anyways. There's a lot of things that I want to do with this channel, a lot of different things that I hope to create. I want to do, and it's all going to be with Gail's permission. I've already talked to her about it, which is one reason why I want to try to get through New Age Bible versions, just do it quickly, is because I want to do all of her books like this. What was ideal is I want to get StreamYard, which is $20 a month, which I don't even know how we would do that. And read it. Spray arm, come on, you're late. You missed everything, man, like everything. You do have my permission to like the video because you would have liked it. Just trust me. So yeah. Also, people aren't going to read New Age Bible versions. People don't like reading. How many pages is it now with the 2022 update? It is 742 pages long if you count the catalog in the back. I mean, like, come on, man. To quote our esteemed ice cream licking commander-in-chief, if you include Appendix C, it is 707 pages long. People don't just sit down and read a book that big. They just don't. They don't. They never will. Especially not this generation that flips through 500 2-minute video, or no, 500 15-second videos, and they can't sit down and listen to a YouTube video if it's greater than 10 minutes. Or sometimes they do appreciate longer live streams, longer form content. Sometimes they do, but they're not going to read a book. No, they would not spend the same amount of time reading a book. So I think that getting this book in audio format, I'm an audio learner. I know I love audiobooks. That and the PDF being included along with it, I think is going to help tremendously. Make this stuff accessible. Make it so that the lazy critics can't just say, I haven't read it. They can take a week of commute time and digest the entire book. Even if they listen to it on 2x speed or something like that, they could do it faster. They could do it however. It makes it easier so that they can be like, wow, really? There was a lot more in there than the acrostic algebra. I'm going to think about some of that stuff. It's all important. I think we all have a contribution to make. This is what I'm trying to make it as my contribution. And apparently Gail also wants to sell it on CD. So if I do end up doing it as a live stream, kind of going to have to make it as professional as I can. I'd like to have, music and possibly the video, I'd be able to show the page on the screen for a video version of it, video, audio, some kind of mashup. I'm not sure how it's all going to work out yet. I don't know if there's anything else that anybody wants to mention or talk about or whatever. We could also have people call in with StreamYard. We could have interviews on here. Just the possibilities are endless once we get StreamYard, but until we get, I think that a safe place to put it would probably be just thinking about it off the top of my head, maybe I'm wrong, 2 $20 a month subscribers. Because if one's like, Joseph's really boring, forget about him, drop him, then I still have the other dude that can pick up, that we can be like, okay, this $20 is going for StreamYard. So we can improve the live streams, and we can do a lot of things that we couldn't do with a pixely, garbled, skippy, just video before. You didn't get a notification for Spray Arm. I also had it in the Messenger group, so I guess you missed 2 notifications, and then I think YouTube sends out another one like a half hour before it starts. So, sorry. So yeah, I think that's about it. No questions, no comments really. And it's 11:30. Well, we're actually finishing, sorry, we're actually finishing before 12. Hopefully, next live stream, hoping, we will see. We're going to have the Samsung Q2U soon. I ordered that just recently with technology. First I bought the dongle. Then I returned that, bought another dongle. That didn't work. Returned that. Bought a I can't remember what was next. Maybe the camera clip. Had to send that back because it's not compatible with Peak Design clips. So yeah, now we've used the money to order the Samsung Q2U, and hopefully that'll be a good dynamic mic that we can use for the time being, because we can't afford the Ideal kit that's like $440. That's in the wish list. If you want to contribute to that, we'll buy that someday when we get enough donations or something, because there's no way I can afford that. That'll be that's not where we're at right now. We're starting small. We're doing what we can. There's a lot more that needs to be done. It's a lot of work, guys. It is a lot of work. But it's fun. It's interesting. I think there's a point to be made. There's people to be heard. New Order of Barbarians said that the churches are going to help the order change the Bible gradually in its wording to become compatible with the new world religion. We did a video on this called Barbarian Versions, or Barbarian Bible Versions, or something like this. If you want to listen to the entire set of the New Order of Barbarians tapes, go to our website, cardcarryingchristians.com/barbarians, or you can check out the playlist here on the YouTube channel. Slowly shifting the Bible to the New World religion, and nobody is going to notice, and the people who do notice will not be enough to matter. That was the statement by Dr. Richard Day in that presentation. I think it's time to matter. And we can matter in a good way when we read our Bibles like the devil's after it. Because it truly is a Bible version conspiracy. I did get the one that said getting things ready here. All right. Well, I think that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate the people, especially that are here weekly. It's encouraging, guys. It is encouraging. It wouldn't happen if it weren't for you guys. This is for you. Thank you for showing up. I got to KJ. I approve the live stream tonight. Well, that's a nice spray arm. Thank you for approving. My name is Charles Evans, and I approve this message. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again, and don't forget that description down below. You guys are gonna find some good stuff down there, I hope. Oh, one more thing. I finally ordered myself a piece of merch from our Spreadshirt shop, just to see what it's like. That didn't turn out too bad. Maybe just a little bit pixely in the finer text. It's a little bit weird, maybe. The other side, though, with the Origins font, the Origins font is just it looks bad. I mean, it's probably I could probably live with it. I'm probably not going to lose that much sleep knowing that people have bought that. But I think I'm probably going to send it back. And we might end up going exclusively with Teespring. I like the variety of Spreadshirt. Maybe there's another service out there like them that does a little bit of a less pixely looking job. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas for that, please let me know. I did send a good quality graphic to them, and the print did not reflect that. Anyways, thank you for watching. Have a great night, guys. And if you want to interact with us, if you want to send any comments, questions, links, whatever, you can contact us at BibleVersionConspiracy@gmail.com. Or you can join Friends of Gail Riplinger on Facebook. Or you can join our messenger chat, which is Bible Version Conspiracy -updates. I appreciate it. Have a great night.